Well, here is the sawmill from Woodland Mills. HM130MAX trailer and everything ready to be assembled. And of course, my pasture is turned into a log yard, and there is all the candidates. So let the games begin. That should give us enough room. So let's get this trailer unloaded. Okay, everything is unpacked, sitting out. This is the XL, so it's like I had stated earlier, it's a 16-foot trailer. You use the steel crate as a building rack. These boards are cut to 36 inches. It'll hold the rails for this thing. Let's see, light kit, the rails, support beams, the tongue. Let's see, there's the jacks, and that is the extension kit up there. So now let the games begin. Heavy duty steel, quality merchandise. Very, very impressed. Well, I only thought I was ready to go, but looking at the directions, I need to unpack the sawmill itself because you're going to have to use those bunks. Also be mindful, it says use the fasteners included with the sawmill trailer to assemble the track. The fasteners included with the sawmill track will not be used. So, sports fans, let's go unbox the sawmill itself. on this Woodland Mills trailer, I did get the ramp kit, okay? What I have found is that front bracket mounts to the tongue. So maybe if you're buying a complete package, you'll want to go ahead and get that and put that on. I had to take it off and then reinstall it. But right there, and then your bracket, it is about 8.5 inches off to the side to make it centered. I'll show you what I mean by that. So I took my tape measure and about 8.5 on both sides will put that bracket center. So let me put the camera down, put the ramps in, you'll see how they fasten in. So your loading ramps slide out the front end. And fasten down the inside right here. So I'll get the other bracket and put that on top. And it's got a black knob for it as well that holds that down into place. Okay, here's the update. I mounted the toolbox to the rear of the trailer, and it bolts inside the frame. It's not as high as the bunks, so any log shouldn't hit it. The bunk stops, all of that stuff is what I've put inside of the toolbox. There'll probably be some other things. The winch is mounted, ready to go. The ramps are in their stored position. I got all the pieces off the trailer for the sawmill head, and I actually just laced a heavy-duty ratchet strap and lifted this out of the crate that it was shipped into. I've got some ideas what to do with the crates, making chicken pens, rabbit pens, something out of that. I'll probably share a video on what I end up repurposing the shipping crates for the trailer and for the sawmill itself. So now it's time to put this together. Once again, thanks for watching. In putting this together, the direction says get somebody to help you to pick this thing up, and I don't have anybody to help me at this time. So I put the top lifting bracket on here just with that same ratchet strap when I unloaded the crate, and picked it up with the front end loader. And if that was not an option, certainly where I had it, I could have run a hoist from the top of the barn and picked this thing up. But maybe this tip will help somebody out there. Good morning once again from the farm. I guess today we'll just have tip time. The tips that I can give you on the Woodland Mills in the setup. The carriage moves real freely, but what I'm going to do is turn the camera around and show you some things that I experienced in the setup of this, and you just have to be patient with it. But let me show you a few things that I learned as I went along to make the carriage move real freely. And the pipe clamps over there, a high lift jack. After I fully assembled the trailer, you're looking for 37 inches across the whole rail systems so the power head carriage will move freely. What I found out, and I started in the center, was I was not getting the 37 that I needed for the width. And if you don't have the HM130MAX, you'll have to check your width for what sawmill that you do have. So as I put the tape measure across, I'm getting 37 here, but all of your brace and bunk bolts, I loosened those up all the way front and back. Okay, now because I have the toolbox, I loosened the toolbox as well, but also the light bar on this side. Then I put the pipe clamps in the center and went from bunk to bunk. And what I mean by that, I put, you know, one of the clamps here and tightened it up. Now, when I finished going all the way to the back, I was good tightening up. What I would do is tighten up the clamp, tighten a couple bolts in the brackets below, and then check my width one more time. But when I moved in front of the axle on this trailer, I was way too narrow, and then I took the high lift jack over there, laid it down, put the pressure out, then tightened the bolts up, and then went back. And that was what was interesting. When I pushed that out and got my 37 inches width, then everything else up front came right into 37 and was good. Let's see, what other tip can I give you? Yes, on the carriage, leave all your bolts loose, and then when I set it down on to the trailer, I shook it a few times and had everything come into place, with the exception, this being on the trailer, the brackets that you would pin when you're transporting the sawmill, these brackets here, I had, it was still kind of rough moving forward and backwards, but I took the fenders off, drilled the holes in the frame so the pins would work, and as soon as I tightened all 4 of the trolley wheels down, then you can see how easy that it moves there. Okay, probably the last thing, I haven't cut the wire. Your hour meter, the little wire that's sticking out below, it works off of vibration. Hour meter vibration activated. So the last thing I need to do when I crank this up, go ahead and cut that wire. Oh, one thing, yes, I'm back up with the chickens. I took, let me get it here. I took a speed square and then I put it on the bunks and I measured both sides, and I took the sawmill head down to 4 inches, and then you can see the 4 inches on the speed square. I checked the level that way, the level that way, and did the adjustment. And remember, your adjustment is right here, these through bolts that hook to the cable. And then I adjusted the one side, and then I took the sawmill head and moved it forward and rearward, checking all of the bunks and making sure that it was level. Keep in mind, I had the trailer level before I began, so everything was level and ready to go. I put oil in the engine. Last night, the last thing I had to do was go shopping and get a battery, because this is electric start. Now I'm in the process of filling up the lubrication tank, and once that is ready, I just got to clean up my mess. And then I'm going to take and recycle all of the cardboard at the dump. There's a recycle, they bale it and clean everything out. Hook the sawmill to the tractor, pull it out there in the log yard, and we will mill our first log. So stay tuned for that video. Now it's time to clean up the tools.